Our next guest knows intimately the inner workings of Europe's central bank. Otmar Issing, of course, was a founding member of the ECB's executive board. He's now president of the Centre for Financial Studies. He joins us now live from Frankfurt. Good morning, Mr. Issing. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Good morning to London.
Was the ECB correct to delay withdrawal of emergency measures?
I will never comment on actions taken by the ECB, and even less I will not be ready to criticize any actions. You should not be surprised by my answer.
Of course, but I did have to ask you anyway. As you know, sir, we're in the middle of a bit of a sovereign debt crisis. Ireland, of course, has received a bailout, and the big question is the threat of contagion. How worried are you that this debt crisis is merely spreading from country in country and governments haven't got a grip of it?
First, one should not be surprised that investors, after years of neglect of differentials within monetary union, are now aware that countries are in very different positions, and markets reflect that. So you might call it contagion. It's, on the other hand, awareness of the markets.
But investors are saying that governments, you're not going to talk about policymakers, governments aren't doing enough. And a number of measures have been suggested, such as extending this bailout fund, possibly charging less punitive rates of interest for countries that are bailed out, maybe even issuing a Eurobond. Do you think that these sort of ideas that are being discussed are plausible? Would they stop this crisis?
First, I would say that governments have taken tough decisions. Take Greece, in which we have a total regime shift. Case of Ireland, heavy measures imposed on the population. I think what we need is, this is obvious, credible programs which should be taken in advance of any crisis. If it comes later, then we have in the meantime market turbulence. But on the idea of a Eurobond, I'm strongly against, because this is something which would undermine the position, credibility of countries having done better. You cannot borrow credibility just by selling a bond which is the same for every lender in the euro area.
Angela Merkel, the German Chancellor, is being criticized for, going out on a limb a few weeks ago and saying that bondholders, should take losses. Of course, some sort of compromise seems to have been reached. Do you think the timing of her announcement was maybe a little bit wrong? She should have waited a bit longer to air those sort of views, because it certainly spooked the markets, didn't it?
This is true, but on the other hand, I think we have seen that on Sunday there was a preliminary decision of the future rescue mechanism. So I think the warning that starting from 2013, private investors should participate in losses, I think didn't come prematurely. It was, I would say, high time to announce that, because the bailing out by taxpayers, I think, has to be stopped. So this was a clear signal, and volatility in markets increased, true, but I think to make a clear announcement that in the future private investors have to participate in bearing losses, I think was needed badly.
Do you think the euro project is at risk at all? I mean, lots of theories are being bandied around, aren't they? I mean, could you ever foresee a time where we have some sort of split?
No, I don't think so. The euro will survive. The question is not about the breakup of the euro area and the fall of the euro. The question is about will we continue to have a stable euro based on a sound fundament, and on that I think the efforts have to be made to put the whole project on a sounder footing.
And what would you like to hear? I mean, what efforts are you considering?
I think we need quite a number of elements. One is strengthening of fiscal surveillance and sanctions in case of misbehavior. This chance is almost lost with the agreement which was taken some weeks ago. So we need, in addition to that, some pressure from markets. Because
Mr. Issing, I have to interrupt you, but thank you very much, sir, for joining us today.